So I actually felt like this video was in order because I'm kind of going out of order. I made a How Strong is White Lantern Kyle Rayner video kind of too early, so I really should have went in this order. I'm just going to call this How Strong is the White Lantern, you know what I mean? Because technically anybody that has the White Lantern or is possessed by the life entity should technically be able to do all these same things, right? If you were chosen by the life entity. To get an idea of how strong the White Lanterns is, you got to get an idea of how strong the life entity is. The thing that's empowering the White Lantern ring or being chosen by the White Lantern ring life entity. It's one of the things of the emotional spectrum, which means it should be comparable. More than likely, like I'm about 99% sure it's above other emotional spectrum stuff like Parallax or the Ion entity, you know, the thing that possessed Kyle Rayner. I have a video about Kyle Rayner Ion, by the way, as well. It should be above these things because these things kind of came from the life entity. The life entity pretty much made the other emotional spectrum just from it existing because it is life, powered by the form of life, a life across the universe, all that good stuff. You gotta get an idea of how strong the life entity is, and you can get an idea of how strong the life entity is by how strong these other emotional spectrum entities are because they are below it technically, right? For example, Hal Jordan, Parallax, Hal Jordan, when he was possessed by Parallax, was able to do absurd stuff thanks to Parallax and be able to absorb stuff to amp himself even more. Absorb energies from the anti-monitor, stuff like that. Like, for example, during this 0 hour event, confirmed that he was able to cause Crisis on Infinite Earths level destruction. And this is not even above the life entity. Like, this is just, you know, stuff coming from the life entity, right? They can do stuff like this, right? I mean, you got to look at his classification, a cosmic entity. So it was able to absorb energies class from the anti-monitor. That's why it's able to get so definitely powerful, to be able to use other energies to this near limitless resource to be able to do stupid stuff like this. I mean, remember, Ion, which is below the life entity, is able to do crazy stuff like being omnipresent, like literally being in every place at once, happening or saving stuff across the planet, like literally here while being in other places, fighting crime across the entire universe and planet, you know, that type of stuff. This is Ion. And if you haven't, make sure you check out my White Lantern Kyle Rayner video to add on top of this for more feats and more lore on why they're so powerful. The reason why I got Sinestro in this image here, because he was actually the first White Lantern Corps member, Sinestro of Cougar. He bonded with the life entity, the embodiment of life itself. They was fighting this being known as Necron. I've showed him in the past, like basically the Black Lantern cosmic entity, and then claimed by Hal Jordan. His entity was removed by Necron, then claimed by Hal Jordan, who joined by the Flash, used power to rescue Superman, Superboy, Wonder Woman, Donna Troy, Animal Man, Kid Flash, who had all turned into Black Lanterns. You know, that cool stuff. You want to see? During the amazing event known as the Blackest Night, these are some epic cover shots, I'm not going to lie. They was fighting this being known as Necron, another cosmic entity level being that's crazy. See what I'm saying? It's just World War II. Yeah, it's a mass event, just in case you were curious. But as you can see, states here, what is the entity? The living light bestowed upon this universe that triggered existence itself. The Guardians may be the oldest living beings, but life did not begin on our world. Life began on Earth. We buried this fact to keep the entity protected. Sinestro gets pissed, you know, Yellow Lantern Sinestro, and this happened. This is why I'm alive. I'm alive to lead us out of the blackest night. I demand your power, entity, and I will finally prove to the universe that I am the greatest lantern of them all. So that's when the White Lanterns were born. So yeah, basically Sinestro is on some Skyfather bare minimum type stuff, more than likely abstract level, let's be real. He's possessed by the life entity, fighting another abstract being known as Necron. Oh, you don't know how strong Necron is? Oh, let me recap right quick before I get back to this. Yeah, he laughed off an attack from an unrestricted Captain, I showed this in my Captain Atom video when Captain Atom was beefed up, you know what I mean? By the way, if you want a whole video about Necron, just let me know in the comments below if that would intrigue you, you know, this death entity. Oh, by the way, these cosmic entities are so powerful that characters like Spectre can't even harm them, evidently it states here. This is why you don't mess with them concept beings, right? Can't really kill them. Yeah, White Lantern stuff, epicness. I mean, like I said, the life entity and the death entity should be above those other entities I just showed you, like Ion and Parallax, right? You saw what they can do. Crisis on Infinite Earths, event level destruction type stuff, right? Like infinite multiverses being in danger. You know, that's the idea you can get. At bare minimum, they can blast away a universe if they feel like it, right? Like a whole universe. Yeah, it's like a big war fighting Necron. It's like Sinestro with the life entity fighting with other Lantern Corps, working together with Green Lanterns, Blue Lanterns. Yeah, it's just an epic event. Can you imagine this in live action, guys? That would totally be a dream to behold. Necron is such a beast. He's even holding his own against a life entity. They even do this. I just showed this a second ago. Ripping out his heart. He states that wasn't so difficult, but Necron is a death conceptual being. Long as death exists, you can't really erase it as long as death exists in the universe. And to rip his heart out. You fight me as if I live, Lantern. I do not. I am death. Yeah, kind of showing his level of power, fighting another conceptual being or cosmic being like Necron in this occasion. White Lantern Sinestro. Then he gets his ring removed. States here, Sinestro is losing control of the entity. His ego is fueling it rather than his will to survive. Then that's when all hope seems lost. More Lanterns try to fight him even more. Like legit war, like Necron. Like, let me just let y'all look at this right here. Necron is that freaking strong. Gots to freaking love it. Talking about event. Ring removed. Then that's what Hal Jordan says. I have a stronger connection to life. Well, that's when we see Hal Jordan. We all chose life when given the chance. Connection severed. Connection overridden. We're all connected. If anyone's a part of the White Lantern Corps, it's us. That's when you basically see all the heroes get a power boost. White Lantern Corps. Superman, Superboy, Wonder Woman, Donna Troy, Ice, Animal Man, Kid Flash, and even Green Arrow, who all have been turned into Black Lanterns by Necron, as well as Anti-Monitor. Not to mention, Hal Jordan used the power of the entity to sever Necron's tether to the living world. Godhood, the life entity empowering all these heroes, resulted in ridiculous amounts of power. Yeah, same with Anti-Monitor. Let there be light, they say, to Necron. So White Lantern has the power to destroy a cosmic being, basically, or defeat it, overpower it, that sort of thing. White rings were powerful enough to destroy Necron's body, even when Spectre had a tough time doing that. I'm just saying. Also revived Martian Manhunter, Aquaman, Deadman, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Jade, Firestorm. After all of this, all the heroes that had been turned into the White Lanterns were discharged from the Corps. It's just happy endings. I gotta love it. Such happiness and love. It's one of those things where it's like a temporary power-up. I talk about this a lot in my videos where characters get godhood for a little bit and then they have to go back to their normal power levels because this is like an event, right? You know, they gotta get strong for a little while, not just like ridiculously strong all the time, right? By the way, Deadman is like one of the only, it's like literally the only resurrected character doing these events that seem to retain the White Lantern ring. Let's recap on how powerful the White Lantern power can be. He becomes the center and literally one with every living being in the universe, or every living thing in the universe. Obviously able to fight on par with another cosmic entity like Necron, blah, blah, blah. But it says, casting your presence across the entire universe. I showed these already, but I'm going to recap right quick. Fighting Necron. Keep in mind, this dude Necron was fighting like a whole bunch of Lanterns at once. Now that he has this, he's able to give him some war, tough time, like in this case, ripping his heart out. Even though it didn't work, it's the fact he was able to restrain him enough to even make him exposed to even ripping the heart out. Even have enough power to rip the heart out. You know what I mean? All these life entity little forces around him. Just epic as you can see, letting you know the life force ain't nothing to be joked with. I mean, for Pete's sake, he even survived being chopped in half thanks to this freaking being powered by the life entity. Epicness fighting Necron, as you can see. Due to it being an event level power up, of course, a lot of the cases that it appears don't really appear long. It has had a few members over the years. Like, I've already showed you like majority of them with that big event, how Jordan pretty much was able to duplicate White Lantern rings to Superman, Green Arrow, Kid Flash, Superboy, Wonder Woman, Flash, and all that stuff during that Necron event, fighting Necron in the Blackest Night event, right? That's a big story event. But there's also been other beings, like even characters like Swamp Thing. I know that seems goofy, but yes, even Swamp Thing has been a White Lantern before, right? That's crazy, ain't it? I know what you're thinking. Really though? Like, this guy's already overpowered? He's got the life entity? Are you kidding? This ring be having new champions day by day. It states here, Alec Holland was engulfed in an explosion that ignited his lab. That's Swamp Thing, by the way. Alec Holland died in the swamp and his memory was absorbed into the life web of the earth called the Green. You know, how the life entity is linked to evidently the Green too. But Alec Holland was dead. It was not Alec Holland. It was only Swamp Thing. Nothing really crazy to show, just to show that, yeah, it possesses a lot of different beings and they should be all comparable in power to one another. Maybe one could say a power stack on top of how strong Swamp Thing already is, maybe, you know, possibly. It doesn't matter who you're on. You would automatically be abstract level if you put the ring on, even if you're not a powerhouse like Swamp Thing, you know what I mean? Or if you're chosen by it. Got to eradicate the rest of Necron's corrupt connection severed. Let's be honest. Everybody talks about temporary power-ups, but let's be real. This is probably Batman's best temporary power-up, becoming possessed by the life entity. There was a time when Batman was a White Lantern, of course. He was chosen by Deadman to be the White Lantern. Like, yeah, Batman with this type of godhood. Don't use this in every battle, Batman fans. But this was very short-lived. We didn't get to really see him fight no cosmic entities. But like, it's one of those things with lore. He should have been like in above abstract levels of power just because he was possessed by, you know, White Lantern ring, you know, life entity, right? Let's go back to this right fast. So Necron was able to fight all these lanterns on his own, right? Which makes sense. He's a cosmic entity. You know, they all blast him at the same time. He's taking all the attack. Just ridiculous in power. Like, bruh. I mean, if I'm being honest, I find it impressive that when Hal Jordan got the ring, he's able to split it up and share the power amongst his teammates. This is just totally awesome to see. That's one thing I forgot to list when I talked about the powers and abilities of the ring and stuff. But what do you guys think? How strong do you think White Lanterns are? At least comparable to Necron, right? Let's be honest, probably above it, an abstract entity. I don't want to re-go over a lot of the stuff I went over already in my Kyle Rayner. How strong is White Lantern Kyle Rayner? Because it's kind of like a new continuity. It's kind of like their new rules of the life entity has its own new rules in the New 52 era. You know what I mean? So that's why I didn't really include those. But I'll go over those real briefly right fast for you guys. This is what I was talking about earlier, that Kyle Rayner kind of got his powers differently, you know, with the white ring. Just by mastering the different colors of the spectrum. You see different forms of it right here. That's what I mean by that. Yeah, a little weird how he does that in the new 52 era. Got new rules to it and everything. It's kind of been some differences to the spectrums. Like the entities evidently don't embody the spectrum in the new 52 era, all that good stuff. But look, he can still shoot like different stuff at the same time. Different like colors of the spectrum here. Epic. Just becomes godhood, another level. That type of thing. But guys, that's just about going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this rundown. I know it wasn't super long. Could have been more, you know. But it's an event level character. Green Lanterns and characters don't get the white entity type stuff too much. You know what I mean? For writing purposes. I think that's a good writing style or good intent for that, right? But if you want to get more on this, make sure you check out my White Lantern Kyle Rayner video, which should already be made already. Post some comments down below. Let me know what you all think. Did I miss something major? I hope not. Goodness. Check out those playlists so you can binge watch more stuff like this so you can get an understanding of stuff that you might not know. Hopefully, this is not the last time I see you on my channel.